Today's proclamation actually recognizes National Preparedness Month, which raises the awareness of preparing for an emergency. The county's Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, because it's government, everybody has to use initials, OEMHS. Maybe not the most catchy title, but wants us to stay informed, make a plan, make a kit, and get involved. The county wants everyone to be safe, but it's especially focused for preparedness for older adults. These adults often face increased risks during emergency situations if they live alone, are low income, have a disability, or live in a rural or remote area. One way to prepare is to make sure you have a way to receive county emergency notifications, which provide immediate notifications to your cell, work, or home phones via text, email, or voice message. And if you go to the Montgomery County Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security website to please register. This Saturday, they're going to host a Ready Montgomery seminar at the Wheaton Recreation Center. This event will be hands-on training to educate county residents to become active participants in their own safety and that of the community. We hope everyone can attend. I'm going to ask Dr. Earl Stoddard, who's representing the county executive, to speak, and then Luke Hodgins from OEMHS to speak, and then we're going to do a proclamation. Please.
Thank you, Chair Katz. On behalf of the county executive, who regrets he couldn't be here, I just want to give a few comments. As the former emergency manager, I've spent a fair number of days in this room, particularly after disaster events, sitting at this table right here, often talking about how we can learn lessons from what happened previously. And I want to talk briefly about one incident that occurred back in 2016. We had a building explosion in the Long Branch area that took a number of lives. And I remember sitting in this room, and there was a conversation with the then council and the team about the fact that there's really two Montgomery counties. There's the Montgomery County we read about nationally, where there's many well-to-do people who are well-educated, who have a lot of resources, and then there's the other side of Montgomery County, which does not know where its next rent check or its next meal is going to come from. And, for them, preparedness is an aspiration, not really a real thing. And so when I give you a message today, I say, for those of us who fall in the category of being able to have resources and know where our next meal is going to come from, we have a personal responsibility and a community responsibility to be prepared for disasters, so that when the government has to respond, the folks back here have to respond, they can focus on the people that do not have those resources available to them all the time. And so as you go home today, think about your plan, think about your resources, think about your availability. Help someone who may not have that resource or availability, and let's all be more prepared for it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Luke, please.
So good morning, everybody. It's exciting to be here. I want to thank the county executive, of course, and Dr. Stoddard on his behalf, and of course the entire county council for recognizing this very important time of the year, which is National Preparedness Month. As the county's emergency manager, I can attest to the fact that you have a very, very strong leadership here in government, both on the council side and the executive side, that supports emergency preparedness and emergency management and emergency response. And that all obviously behooves you in the end, so I thank everyone for your continued support. And these guys work hand in hand with us, not only as we prepare for these emergencies, but also when we're out to respond to them. So all of these folks you see behind us, including the council, are there when we do have emergencies in the community. So I thank them all for that. I think everybody here can attest to the fact that emergency preparedness goes a long way in minimizing our fatalities, our injuries, our property damage, and minimizes the amount of time that we're disrupted before we can get back to recovery. So emergency preparedness cannot be understated just how important it is. So we live in a community where we face a number of threats. We face severe weather. We face, your everyday car accident. We have home fires, home explosions. We have flooding that happens here. There's a number of different threats, and it's incumbent upon all of us to be prepared for that. And luckily, we have a strong team of of a diverse group of folks behind us that help. So just some of the people that you heard from today that are here today represent the whole of community response that we bring to you all when we do have an emergency. So that includes the Maryland National Capital Region Emergency Response System, the American Red Cross, the Medical Reserve Corps, the Community Emergency Response Team, all of our public safety partners in police and fire and rescue. We have all of our OEMHS staff that's up here, and then of course Delta Sigma. Thank you very much for being here today and all of your continued work. So each September we amplify our efforts to prepare everyone, because we understand that it's everyone's personal responsibility to become aware of what your threats are and then become prepared for them when they do hit. And while September is our designated National Preparedness Month, it's up to us all year round to pay special attention to being prepared. So we ask that you do exactly what Councilmember Katz asked you to do, and that's do 4 things. And that's make a plan for what you will do in an emergency, make a kit for if you're stranded at home for some reason, you lose power, or you need to evacuate, stay informed, which includes signing up for Alert Montgomery, and then of course, get involved in some way. You see everybody up here has gotten involved, getting trained, getting to know your neighbors, all of those things are getting involved. So we ask that you do that, because the real responders during these events are you guys out in the community. So we thank you so much for all that you do. We thank you for taking the time to prepare. I would direct you to our website. Just search any search engine for Montgomery County Emergency Management. We have a ton of tools there for you to walk you through each one of those steps that I just mentioned to ensure that you are properly prepared for this. So again, I thank you all for that, and I thank the county executive and the council for recognizing this important month.
Thank you very much, Luke. If I could ask Dr. Stoddard, whereas, this is a proclamation, whereas National Preparedness Month creates an important opportunity for every community of Montgomery County, Maryland, to prepare their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural disasters and human-caused disasters.
Whereas investing in the preparedness of ourselves, our families, businesses, and communities can reduce fatalities and economic devastation in our communities and in our nation. And
whereas the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Ready campaign and other federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, private, and volunteer agencies are working to increase public activities in preparing for emergencies and educating individuals on how to take action. And
whereas the Montgomery County Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security's year-round focus is resident preparedness for resiliency during and after emergencies. And
whereas the community organization's Active in Disasters, COAD, focuses on continuous preparedness to support the community in the event of an emergency. And
whereas emergency preparedness is the responsibility of Montgomery County residents and all Maryland residents, as are urged to make preparedness a priority and work together as a team to ensure that individuals, families, and communities are prepared for disasters and emergencies of any type. And
whereas all residents of Montgomery County, Maryland are encouraged to participate in preparedness activities, including participating with COAD code to be ready in the event of an emergency. Now, therefore, do we, County Executive Mark Elrich, Council President Andrew Friedson, Council Member of the Public Safety Committee Chair Sidney Katz, and the entire County Council, Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognize September 2024 as National Preparedness Month and encourage all residents to develop their emergency preparedness plan and work together towards creating a more prepared society. And it's signed by the 3 that we mentioned. Thank you very much for all that you do. We're going to hand out some proclamations. I'm going to ask the Public Safety